Hey, what is up peeps? Welcome back to this new tutorial series where we're gonna be making this short film animation of the Space Shuttle Discovery launch into space. So in part 1 we're gonna be discussing the modeling process. We will start by modeling our space station, then we're gonna import our spaceship. And in part 2 we're gonna start experimenting with the fluid simulation. We're gonna experiment with different settings until we kinda have a match to our reference. And lastly we're gonna start the animation of our spaceship. And also we're gonna experiment with the new built-in HDRI map in Blender. It's really awesome. Alright, so let's get to work. Alright, so in this first tutorial I'm gonna be modeling the base of our space station. So I'm gonna just remove the camera and the lamp and just keep my cube for the first time. So I'm gonna hit S Shift Z and scale it way down like this. So for example, let's set it to 8. 8 is gonna be fine, 8 units. And after that, what I'd like to do is I'm going to be making some cuts inside our base. You can see that over here from the top. So I prefer this way. I prefer to cut it by half and add the Mirror Modifier. So this one is going to be replicating those steps again. So Control R to insert that edge loop. And also over here I'm going to hit Alt to select the entire row. And also this one, and X delete. Alright, so on the top side, I'm gonna hit 7 to switch to the top side. I'm gonna start inserting some edge loops. So Control R over here. Let's bring this one over here. So this one over here marks this end. You can see that. So also let's switch to the wireframe and let's add another one. So Control R and let's move it, for example, here. This marks this end. Control R again, this one, and let's add another one like this. Also, I'm gonna be adding horizontal edge loops. For example, this one. Alright, I think, yeah, actually we must do twice. So the first one must be over here and the second one over there. Okay. And also over here I'm going to be inserting another edge loop so that we can be able to select these vertex. Also select both of these and bring them inside just so that we can have some nice cuts. You can see that just like here. Alright, so now I'm going to just delete these faces. X and delete them. Okay. And also, in order to be able to see them better, I'm gonna just delete the rest of our base. So L to delete the entire units, and after that we're gonna be extruding it. So over here I'm gonna be dragging this this edge like this, dragging it to the left side, just like that. And also I'm gonna be deleting this extra face because we're gonna be adding that mirror modifier. You know what? Let's do it right now. So I'm gonna go to the modifiers, and let's add the mirror modifier. This one. So now as you can see, it's set on the x-axis, which is exactly what we want. In some cases, you might want it to be on the y-axis. Alright, so from here, all we have to do is to go to the edit mode, select everything, and hit E and extrude down. Just like this, so that you can give it some depth. Alright, so we got it. So now next step is going to be to add the Bevel Modifier so that we can have some reflection on the side or on the edges of our base. So let's add modifier. It's going to be the Bevel Modifier. Okay, I'm going to be increasing it to, for example, 3 segments. Also over here, I'm going to be doing a right click and shade smooth so that we can have it smooth. And as you can see, it's not cooperating. So let's check this out. I'm going to hit N and check the scale first. So the scale is 8:8:1, which is not good. So I'm going to hit Control A and apply the scale. So now as you can see, it's way much more better. Also, as you can see, we might notice that we have some black shadow in the middle. So the reason why we're having that is because we're having some faces inside that. Let me just check. So I'm using this control and middle mouse so that I can zoom inside. As you can see that we have some hidden faces. So basically once we delete them, that problem is going to be fixed. So X delete. And also there is a better way to do this. We can hit Z and switch to the wireframe. And we can select these faces manually, just like this. So X delete. Alright. So we got this. So now let's start working on these pipes. So for the pipes, there is a quick trick that we can do. So I'm gonna simply select these 4 or 5 vertices from the top side, just like this. Okay, Shift D. So we got them. Gonna bring them up. Gonna hit P to separate selection. And after that, also let me just connect these to make it a whole. So just like that. And after that, I'm gonna be going to objects and convert into, it's gonna be curve. Just like that. So now we can adjust the settings of a curve. So I'm going to go over here to the object data properties. I'm going to scroll down to the geometry and I'm going to increase the depth, for example, to something like 0.75. And after that, I'm going to just bring it down to where it belongs. But as you can see, the center of mass is not that It's not set, so I prefer to move it on the edit mode. So let's just move it down. Maybe I think they're fine. Yeah, the scale of it are fine. So also right click, shade smooth. Okay, and now let's add the other pipes. So as you can see, we have these other units pipes, so they are connected the bottom side of our base to the top side. So we can do this. I'm gonna simply select one unit or one vertex from these. I'm gonna bring it over here, and also let me zoom on it using the numpad period. Start, for example, from here, hit easy, go up, easy again, and we're gonna start making that turn nice and slow, like this, EX again, and we can bring it down like this, easy, and go all the way down, just like that. Also over here, let's make some corrections. So for example, we can move it forward a little bit. Okay, and we can also select the entire unit using the L key and GZ, move it down until it's connected with our ground. But I think the scale of it looks a little bit big. Let me check from distance. So I think something like over here 0.7 is gonna be fine. Okay, also let me just select this one, move it down. Also there is a way to activate the snap tool to the vertex, and we can, for example, snap it exactly at the bottom. Okay, after that I'm gonna simply select this unit, Shift D, and duplicate it twice. So this is the first time, Shift D again, and yeah, I'm gonna just deactivate the snap tool, and L to select the other units, Shift D, SX -1, and let's move it to the right side, just like that. Okay, and after that I'm gonna be selecting all these units. So I highly encourage you to add more details to our base, because it's gonna be adding more realism. So the more details you add, the better results you're gonna achieve. Alright, so we got it right at that spot. Okay, so also we got another type of pipes on the side. You can see those. So, but before doing that, I'd like to do a quick tip. So I'm gonna hit Ctrl R over here, bring it up. And for example, I'm thinking of a better way to do this. So for example, we can do this, Alt to select the entire row, hit E to extrude it, and S, Shift Z, go outside like this, for example. Okay, but as you can see, we have some problems over here at this location. So let me switch to the wireframe, and first I'm gonna be deleting this extra face. X deleted. Let me check. And also, as you can see, if we zoom in, you can see that we have a gap. So the reason why we're having this gap is because we didn't activate the clipping inside our mirror modifier, this one. So now let me just show you this, the problems we're having right now. So if we select this edge, we can pass that point, which is not good. So actually, once we check the clipping, we're gonna stop right at the end, which is really nice. All right, so let me do the same thing for the other side. So first I must delete this face, and I'm gonna select this edge and snap it just like that. All right, so we got our base. So next, what I'd like to do, but I think also this one is a little bit big. So as Shift Z, let's move it back a little bit like this. Okay. And also I think it's gonna be a good thing to bring this one down a little bit to give it some depth. All right, so now let's add the other pipes. So for that, I'm gonna be using the exact same technique that we used over here. I'm gonna just select these 4 vertices. Actually, I was using the shift, so I must be using I was using control. So now let's use only the shift. So basically when you hit control, you're gonna be selecting everything, all the vertices between those points, which is not what you want. So shift, select this one, Shift D, let's go up, and let's first connect these points. So this one, F to connect them, like this, and after that hit L to select the entire thing, hit B, separate selection, and after that I'm going to be going to objects and convert into a curve. And also over here we can do something, we can select this one, and after that we can select the other pipes, the existing pipes, and we can do Control G, this G over here. So basically we are giving the new pipes the same settings that the old pipes have. So this is a cool trick if you want to speed up your modeling process. So GZ, and let's bring it down like this. And I think a duplicate is going to be fine. So Shift D, or after that, let me just check. So I think we must increase it up until it reaches the border, but I think we're good. So Shift D, GZ, and let's move it way down. Alright, so now let's add these fences on the side of our base, these fences. So it's going to be real quick. All we have to do is to add the cube. So I'm going to select that point, Shift S, cursor just selected. Let me exit the edit mode, Shift A, let's bring a cube, and S, Shift Z, and let's set it, for example, by 0.1. Make it really tiny. So let's scale it way down. Okay, also let's go to the top view, and let's move it, for example, right here. Alright, let's move it up. Scale Shift Z by 0.5. I think now it's gonna be better. Also, we might change its settings later on. For now, let's just proceed with this. I'm gonna select the top side, bring it down, for example. Hit E, go up. Okay, and let me select this one, hit E, and extrude it like that. And also over here, I would like to do something. I would like to select these two faces and extrude them out. So now it's gonna be giving us a nice design or something like that. So let's add an array modifier. It's gonna be on the y-axis. So let's set the y-axis to 1 and the x-axis to 0. And let's increase the count, for example, to 25. And let's see what we got. So actually we must increase it even. So let's try 50 or even 60. 60 counts. I think now we're good. Okay. We might also scale it just a tiny bit until it covers the end. So S, Y, let's get it something like that. Okay, so on the top side, I'm gonna hit Shift D to duplicate this unit. Okay, and RZ 90 degree to move it to the side. And also let me just drag it a little bit to the left side like that. And after that, I'm gonna be selecting both of those fences. But before doing that, let's fix this problem. So for example, this one, I'm gonna just reduce that count. So for example, 40. We can add it manually, for example, like just like that. Okay. And after that, let me select both of these, Shift D, and RZ 180 degree, just like that. Let me go to the top view, and we can drag it like this. And all we have to do is to keep an eye on one or only one side. So GX, move it forward. GY, let's move it up until it connects with these points. GY a little bit like that. And we can also check the other point. As you can see, it's going to be matching automatically. Alright, so we got our fences. Alright, so now we got everything. All we have to add is these legs, these supporting legs at the bottom side of our base. So for that, again, I'm going to be using just a cube. So Shift S, cursor to that location. Shift A, let's go to Mesh Cube, just like that. I'm going to be scaling it way down. So also, I prefer to add the Bevel Modifier to it. Control A, let's make sure that the scale is applied. Increase the segments to, for example, 3, right click, Shade Smooth, and let's start tweaking. So for example, I'm gonna expand it a little bit down, select the bottom side, move it down like this, Control R, bring it up, and for example, we can, but before doing that, let me try this. Insert another edge loop, Shift or Alt to select the entire row, S, Shift Z, go outside like that. Okay, maybe let's just keep tweaking it. Select everything, move it down. For example, over here on the base, we can move it up. We can move it down like this. Insert another edge loop. Select those faces, hit E, scale Shift Z, and go inside, just to give it an interesting design. Okay, so let me go to the top side. Let's just try to move it, for example, here. Also, there is a better way we can do this. So select the first one, which is this one. Shift, select the second one, hit Control G. And as you can see, we got it automatically on the other side. So the mirror is enabled on this one. So let me select this unit and let's try to bring it inside. For example, like this. Go to the top view, Shift D. Let's move this one, for example, here. I'd like to have 3, just like our reference. Alt A, and let's select this one using the L key. Let's move it forward. Okay, so after that, we can just duplicate these, move them over here. SY-1 so that we can invert them on the other side. Alright, also we can do this, select both of these units, Shift D, move for example one over here, and the second one right there. Alright, so we got it, so this is our base. So next we're going to be working on the supporting column that we got on the left side. So see you then.